Now here's everybody's favorite wild and crazy guy, Alien Adam.
Well, what do you think? Am I getting any better? Let's do that again. Okay, enough screwing around. Time to get to business. I'm Alien Adam, and welcome to part 5. Oh yeah, this is totally awesome. I'm doing bad. Oh no! When we finished up part 4, Enki was tasked by his father, King Anu, to create a primitive worker who could replace the Ajiji who had revolted, leaving the Anunnaki without a workforce. King Anu also sent Enki's sister Ninkursag and his son Ningajita to assist him with fashioning the simple worker that they needed. When Enki presented his idea to the council, he told them about a being he kept catching setting the animals free from their traps. He noticed that even though they were dumber than a box of rocks, they still had some sort of emotional intelligence. They believed the being that Enki was talking about might have been Australopithecus or Neanderthal. Some people think it may have been early caveman or perhaps even the Sasquatch that caught Enki's attention. Crikey, would you check out these two specimens? Aren't they beauties? It's also believed that Enki started experimenting with the DNA of the Earth creatures quite a while before his father, King Anu, gave the official order to begin working on the primitive worker. This is where I personally believe the ideas of the mythological creatures came from. You guys know, like the Minotaur and the Centaur. But they were not very easy to keep under control, so Enki put the kibosh on that idea. So, after Enki had failed to find a winning combination of DNA to essentially improve your breed and kept coming up with uncontrollable monsters, Enki had another idea. He'd use his own DNA to combine with the Neanderthal Australopithecus being. Just in case that aha moment flew by ya, allow me to shine a light on it. This is where you get that "let us make man in our image" part comes from in the Bible. Anyways, now that they had a new direction to start working on, they would take an egg from a female Earth being. Enki would artificially inseminate the egg with his own fluid ODNA and place it back in the womb of the female donor. Now all they had to do was continue business as usual and wait for the child to be born. I know it sounds pretty cut and dried, but they had several failures with this idea too. They knew they were on the right track, but there were major birth defects that kept showing up. For starters, before they could intermingle their DNA with yours, they had to fuse a couple chromosomes in your DNA together so that it would be compatible with theirs. When geneticists took a closer look at human DNA, the second and third pairs of chromosomes appear to be fused together with laboratory-like precision. There is also a bunch of stuff they actually call junk DNA. That is parts of the human DNA that either look turned off or disabled, or they actually share no commonalities with any other known DNA on Earth, or is simply not from Earth, wink wink. My buddy Ronan wants to do the next one. My good friend Alien Adam will go more into detail about the reason behind the junk DNA and why it looks disabled or turned off completely in another video. Getting back to these birth defects, the first few offspring they produced were terribly underdeveloped or grossly disfigured. The cuneiform tablets say that one was born basically with no skeletal form at all, kind of just a blob of skin and organs. One was born with bones but missing body parts. several more children were born, but some were blind, some deaf, some couldn't speak, some couldn't stand up or walk. After a while, it seemed Enki couldn't catch a break. He started to think the problem might be with the vessel, meaning the female Earth being's womb. Maybe the primitive body just can't properly process the addition of the Anunnaki DNA. It was at this point that Ninkurzag volunteered to carry the next child to find out if the issue was indeed the vessel. So they tried one more time. Enki extracted an egg from one of the primitive Earth females and fertilized it with his special sauce, then carefully implanted the egg into his sister's womb. Again, it was business as usual until they had waited the allotted gestation period. This time, however, it took a little longer than they expected. Finally, Ninkurzag gave birth to the baby. It was a male. They checked him out, everything seemed to be working correctly. She held him up and said, now I'm paraphrasing here, "Behold, I have created it. I shall call it Adamu." Where have I heard that name before? Here's a picture of Ninkurzag holding up the little Adamu, so Enki and Ningisita can take a look at him. Enki and his team had successfully achieved the primitive worker they sought after to rebuild their gold mining crew. But don't be confused, the Anunnaki did not create you Earthlings. The creator of all had already been to Earth and created, well, everything. The Anunnaki simply came in and modified you so they could use you as their slaves. Yeah, you remember when I said they were butthead aliens? Turning you Earthlings into their slaves has earned them that name, and even worse. But my mom will wash my mouth out with soap if she hears me say any of those names. Anyways, that's going to be a wrap for Part 5. For Part 6, I'll get into some of the hiccups Enki and his team run into as they try to essentially clone the Adamu in order to get the number of workers back up so they can resume mining operations. Things don't go as smoothly as they would have liked. Like always, I'll put links in my description for some of my resources and other cool alien stuff. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Alien Adam. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get all my new videos. We'll see you in Part 6.